Why should I even try just to be let down again? Why should I even try just for you to hurt my feelings again? Why should I even bother? Because what I've done so far hasn't gotten me where I need to be. So why should I even try just to be let down again? And so when we have a hard time wrapping our mind around starting over, we have to stop and ask ourselves, what disappointment have you not dealt with that is holding you back? Welcome to another episode of Becoming with Angelina Watkins. And of course, I'm your host, Angelina, and I am your queen of becoming. And I help sophisticated professional women and first-time entrepreneurs become who they need to be so that they can do what they're purposed to do, so they can live the abundant life that they want to live. And so I started this podcast to talk about healing to prosperity and everything in between to help you get in a position to win at love, life, and money. So if this is your first time joining us, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning into the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss another episode, okay? I need you to continue to come and join me here every Thursday, and make sure that you leave a comment below. I love to hear from you. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell me what was helpful. Tell me what questions that I left you with. What would you like to hear me talk about to help you become who you need to be in order to accomplish the things in life that you want to accomplish, to be able to create the life that you want to create? Okay? So, this episode, I'm going to talk about the power of starting over. Starting over. A lot of us have a hard time with starting over. We don't want to start over. It brings about feelings of inadequacy. It brings about feelings of failure. It brings fear of what we're going to be getting ourselves into, because we don't know what's to come when we start over. And it just was something that I felt compelled to talk about with the beginning of this new year. Although some of the things I talk about, I think we need to talk about them all year round, not just at the beginning of the new year. But since it's a new year, why not start to talk about starting over? And so the conversation for me in my head came when I'm thinking about the fact that for me, starting over is easy. I used to think of myself as the queen of starting over. It was nothing for me to leave behind whatever was going on with my life, whomever was in my life, whatever the circumstances was, leave it all behind and just start over with a clean slate. I did that at the age, I want to say I was 21 or 22 when I left Minnesota to go to Cincinnati, and I left with nothing but my clothes in a trunk, those old-fashioned Chester looking treasure trunks. I left with nothing but my clothes, okay? Anything that I own, bedroom furniture, dining room furniture, living room furniture, mattresses, everything, I gave it away. I didn't even try to sell it. I just gave it away and I moved to Cincinnati. And so then I'm living in Cincinnati. There's a period of time where I was having some financial hardships. I had a real estate business. The recession hit. I wasn't doing very well. And so I had to leave everything behind. And I remember I was living with my daughter's father at the time. And I decided that not only am I going to start my life over, but I'm going to start my life over without him. You know, we were still connected because I had my child, but I'm going to start my life over. I'm going to go get me a new place, and I'm going to start my life over without him. And so I did. I went and got a new place, and I left everything behind. I didn't take nothing except my clothes, her clothes, and her furniture. My bedroom furniture, living room furniture. I left everything. I did take the dining room, though, because the dining room was a gift from my sister to me. So everything else I left behind. Okay? And I started over. And it just became a part of knowing that when I start over, I have a clean slate. I have the opportunity to change my life. I have an opportunity to create my life the way I want it to be, to create something new. And so I'm sometimes baffled. I shouldn't be, but I'm sometimes baffled by the things that other people not being able to start over. And it got me to asking why. Why is it easy for some to just start over, leave everything behind, go to a new city, go to a new state, go to a new apartment, go to leave the relationship behind, leave the job behind, get another job? Like, why is it easy for some to start over and it's not easy for others? Because you can be presented with an opportunity, and it could be a really good opportunity, and someone else will jump on it, and then others will have to think about it, and they'll sit in it and eventually not do anything and just stay in the comfort zone. And you say to yourself, if this opportunity could catapult your life in a totally different positive direction, why would you not take advantage of it? And see, we're presented with opportunities all the time and we don't take advantage of them. So what makes one person take advantage of something over another person not taking advantage over it? I mean, if you had a job and the job is not paying you a whole lot of money, and let's say you're making $10 an hour, and I come to you and I say, hey, there's this job opportunity. It's going to pay you twice as much as what you're making now. It's going to pay you $20 an hour. And you're qualified for it. You've got a lot of the qualities that if we just kind of fix your resume, you could get this job. And you have to think about it. And you have to, some people might get a little bit of anxiety or they get overwhelmed. And the question is, well, why though? Because we are about to change your life. More money will help you solve some of your money problems. It'll be able to give you opportunities to live other places, go other places, do other things. It'll give you the opportunity to change your lifestyle. If you have an easy opportunity for you, we're talking easy because all opportunities aren't easy, but I'm giving you an easy scenario. You got an easy opportunity in front of you. Why would you not take advantage of that opportunity? What would make one person say, tell me what I need to do and I'll do it, and they do it step by step with the instructions you give them, and then you have other people who do not, and they sit on it and they dwell on it and they overthink it and eventually don't make a move. They stay where they are, which is in their comfort zone. And so as I was thinking about what is the difference between the two people, what I heard is that the person who is not taking advantage of the opportunity, we oftentimes want to quickly think that it's fear. They have a fear of failure, maybe a fear of success. They're doubting themselves. And it came to me, it's really not about that. It's really about disappointment. I bet you if you talk to that person long enough, you'll find that they've had lots of disappointments in their life. And they have not yet learned how to deal with and manage disappointment. So they're disappointed, like one disappointment after another disappointment after another disappointment, to the point that you get tired. Emotionally, you're tired. Mentally, you're tired. And if you've not done the things to heal and recuperate from the disappointment, then it just piles on, because it's just year after year, month after month, day after day, we're being disappointed, whether it's by family, by some of our loved ones, our significant other, our friends, our co-workers, the job, and we just get to the point where we've really just given up. Why should I even try just to be let down again? Why should I even try just for you to hurt my feelings again? Why should I even bother? Because what I've done so far hasn't gotten me where I need to be. So why should I even try just to be let down again? And so when we have a hard time wrapping our mind around starting over, we have to stop and ask ourselves, what disappointment have you not dealt with that is holding you back? Some of us are being held back by constant, consistent disappointment, and we are emotionally wounded, and we have not dealt with the emotions of being disappointment. And some of that disappointment that we've not dealt with has turned into frustration. And so I'm not applying for the job. I'm not going for the new relationship. I'm not doing what I need to do because I'm frustrated with the process. We don't want to go through the process. It's frustrating to go through this long, drawn out process that requires a lot out of me just to turn around and get disappointed again. And so we get frustrated. And that unaddressed frustration turns into anger. It turns into resentment. It turns into bitterness. It turns into us giving up on ourselves. And so we've got to learn how to deal with the disappointment and work within the power of starting over. There's power in starting over. And we've got to get to that point where no matter what is happening, I know that there's better. And so I think about it. Why do we stay in relationships that are not good for us? We don't want to start over. We don't want to start over the dating process because it's long, drawn out, and daunting. We don't want to start over with getting to learn someone else just to get down, months down in this relationship to only find out that you were no better than the last nigga I had. Okay, I'm just saying it like that because that's what we be thinking. You're no better than the last guy that I was with. Why should I go through the process of dating, getting to know someone, only to find myself in the same relationship that I just got out of? Disappointment. Disappointment. I might as well just stay with this no good nigga. Why? I just might as well just stay here. At least I already know what to expect. At least I already know what I'm dealing with. At least I already know the routine. I know how to navigate my mental and emotional around the chaos. Why leave this, get some peace to only find myself in chaos again? And so we don't want to start over in a relationship. That's why we end up just staying with the no good person that we're already with. We don't want to start over on a job. Oh my God, we don't want to go through the process of doing the resume and filling out all of these applications just to be disappointed, just to be turned down, just to not have an interview, or have an interview and they tell you that that you're not qualified, or that we found a better candidate, or I'm sorry, I know we interviewed you, but we already had our eye on somebody else internally. We just were going through the formality, and then you collateral damage, and your feelings are hurt. You're feeling rejected, and so now you're disappointed because you had high hopes of getting this promotion or getting this job that was going to better your life financially and help you get yourself off the feet into a different position, and it's not happening. And so you get to the point like, why should I even try? I keep getting picked over. Why should I even try? And we got to get to a point where we are trying. We're not giving up on ourselves. Starting over it's not about failure. It's about the lesson. And it's about taking that lesson and letting it catapult you into a better future. Learning from where you just came from, learning from your past, and knowing what to do next time, what to look for next time. If you're in a bad relationship, mark these things that are in the relationship, mark the behaviors of this person, mark the attitude, mark the values, mark these things so that you know what to look for and the red flags to look for in the next relationship. We've got to know that starting over, it's not about failure. It's not a bad thing. And it's probably the best thing when you know you're headed down the wrong road. Sometimes we know we're headed down the wrong road and we need a course correction, and we get that course correction. We even get the opportunity to go to another job. We get an opportunity to end this relationship, to get a divorce, to get out of where we are. We get an opportunity to move into a better place, and we don't take it, knowing that where we are is not where we're supposed to be. Where we are is the wrong place, and we don't take the opportunity that's in front of us. Starting over is not a bad thing, okay? Starting over is about embracing uh, change and learning from it so that you can adapt. Okay, starting over, it encourages self-discovery of who you are. When you have to start over, you're going to have to do something that you've never done before so that you can get something that you've never gotten before. And so that starting over is going to require you to evolve in your being and change and transform into someone else who is more confident, more consistent, more disciplined, more determined, more persistent. Whatever those things are that you have to become, starting over makes you do those things. Starting over makes you realize that you are stronger than what you realized you are. Because, every time I left a place with nothing but the clothes on my back, and then a year or so later, I've got a house full of furniture and a new car and a new job, and things are happening for me, and you look back and you say, I did that. Now we know God did it. God made provisions to do it, but you say, I did that. Wow, I've come a long way. And you can't do nothing but be proud of yourself and confident in yourself and realize that you have knowledge, skills, and abilities to do some things. And you're shortchanging yourself when you don't start over. Starting over is about trusting yourself with yourself to do what's best for you to change your life. And so, how do you start over? I want to go over the steps to the power of starting over. What does that look like? What do I need to do in order to make the change that I need to make and be confident in the change that I'm making, and then confident in the decisions that I'm making so I don't find myself back in this wrong place? So I want to go through these steps of starting over. So step number 1, start by reflecting on your past. Reflect on who you are and who you need to become, okay? What do you need to do differently that you're not doing right now? What cycles do you need to break? What habits do you need to replace? We have to look at where we are and what we've been doing and how we've been showing up. What emotional goals do I need to set? What mental goals do I need to set? Do I need to build a stronger relationship with God? Do I need to build up my faith? What do you need to do? Because where you are and what you're doing right now is not working. That's why we got to start over. So you got to reflect on where you are, where you've come from, who you are, and what you need to become. Step number 2, you want to examine your value system. Oftentimes, we're making decisions that do not align with our values. And when we make decisions that don't align with our values, it ends up causing us pain in the long run. So we got to be able to say, what do I value? And consider your values when making those decisions and creating those boundaries around your values, and not letting the decisions you make and the people in your life to violate the values. You might want to look and see, why am I having so much trouble, so much heartache, so much pain? It might be because the very thing you value, you're violating it when you don't do for you, or in a relationship that you're in and you're allowing other people to violate your values because you're accepting something that you should not be accepting. Number 3, create the vision for your life. What do you want? Not what does mama want, what does daddy want, what does sister want, what does husband want, or what does spouse or significant other want. We have to consider our spouses, but what do you want? What do you need? What do you want to see happen? Okay? You can't keep putting yourself on the back burner. So as you start over, you got to start recreating your life by looking at what's going to make you happy and what's the vision for your life. Number 4, you're going to have to become who you need to be in order to create that vision. So first you got to have a vision, because we got to know where we're going in order to know what we need, right? If I'm going on a 4-hour trip, I need to know that I'm going on this 4-hour trip, so I know that how much gas am I going to need to go down this road for 4 hours versus going down this road for 10 hours. And how long is it going to take me there? To get there, where am I going to stay? We've got to be able to make preparations, but you can't make no preparations if you don't know where you're going. And part of the vision for your life is to know where you're going. But then when we start preparing, the thing that we don't prepare is ourselves. You got to prepare yourself for where you're going. We put all these systems in place and all these tasks that we need to do, but who do you need to become in order to complete the task? Who do you need to become in order to meet the goal? Who do you need to become in order to deal with the things that come along with this life that you're creating for yourself? Because you got to know that no matter wherever you have change, there's going to be challenge. And if you're not able to handle challenges mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then you're going to struggle. That means you got to become someone different. You got to become someone whose emotionally intelligence is mature. You got to become someone who's mentally mature. You got to become someone who is spiritually mature. You got to become someone who's going to be able to handle it. Number 5, get a coach. You can't do this thing on your own. You can't do this thing alone. Get yourself a coach. There's too many of you out there sitting there. You need the help. You know you need the help, but you're not asking for the help. And then you keep going to the friend who's in no better position than you are to give you any type of advice. You got to find someone who's where you want to be, who knows how to do what you want to do or can get you there. Stop calling your friend who's in the same place as you. They can't coach you into the next level because they're not in the next level. And then lastly, do self-check-ins. How are you doing? Check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I progressing? Do I need to change anything? Do I need to adjust anything? Because the hardest thing that we need to do, and which is why we have a hard time starting over, is being able to adjust and pivot. Starting over is about adjusting and pivoting. And sometimes it's not about changing the goal. It's not about changing the destination. It's adjusting and pivot to still get to that destination. How you were going about getting there may not be the best route anymore or may not be working. And so we need to pivot and go a different way, but we don't want to. And that's why we get stuck in where we are and we don't make the change. And we stay there because we're comfortable, because we don't want to go through the frustration of the process. So I say to you, embrace change, embrace the power of starting over. I know it gets frustrating at times, but it's going to be more frustrating for you to keep staying where you are. You're not making enough. Go get another job and make more money. You're not being appreciated and treated right in your relationship. Dump that person and go find someone else who's going to treat you right. Find someone else whose values align with your values. Get with someone who's going in the same direction as you and wants the same things as you in life. Stop staying with someone who is not going where you want to go. Don't align with your purpose. Don't align with your lifestyle. Don't align with your vision. Don't align with your goals. Don't align with your personality, but you're staying there because why? You've gotten comfortable because you don't want to go through the disappointment of being with someone else who's just going to disappoint you too. But what you have to know is when you work on you and some of those steps that I put in becoming who you need to be, then when you start over and you in a new relationship again, if we are looking at our past and reflecting on our past and examining some things and learning from our past, we won't make those same choices. You're not going to pick that same guy again because you're going to make better choices for yourself because you know who you are, you know what your values are, and you've already paid attention to not fall for the red flags again. Okay? Now, where you are is not where you have to be. Your past does not define you. You define you. So heal, transform, and pursue you.